Hey, I hope everyone can hear me. If you can hear me, there's like four of you guys anyway, so it's not like a big deal. But it also makes a little bit of trouble here if none of you can hear me, uh, or if you can't hear me, or if you can hear me, you got to say something because I just got this bad boy up here. Last time I was going Sargon for like 5 minutes or something like that. First time I did, sorry, and that was it. There was no sound at all there. Anyway, I think we're here. If you can, you know, give me some feedback. If you can't, I'm just really great. It's really great to be back. We are currently, and I say we, this is Royal. Um, fine. There's no uh, Chinese derived virus or whatever it's called in our house at the moment. We're just enjoying doing gardening stuff. Every day I'm finding a new sliver in my hands. Hey, hello, Cyprian Turtes. I know I've got an amazing pronunciation there. I speak perfect whatever language your background's from. Anyway, guys, welcome. Cyprian, I assume that you can hear me. This is how you slide into a really great intro. By the way, if any of you guys are like Chirus, it's called Chirus. Martin, good to see you. COVID Namunza or whatever it's called. Guys, thank you very much. We just started here, I guess. If you notice, I'm wearing a hat you haven't seen for a while. You also notice I got the COVID tattoo here, and that is because when there's a lot less work to be done, even though at the moment I'm daddy daycare, still got a bit of work to do. Even when I'm daddy daycare, doing in between daddy daycare, doing some magazine shoots and stuff like that. I got to do some work out in the garden, and that's where I got this tattoo here. It's basically sweat. So you notice this hat is now what, a couple years old since I've been like, you guys got to buy a hat. I'm not joking. And you guys all think I'm joking. Well, someone bought a hat. Well, this is like some high quality marker, whatever it is. So you can see what it'll look like even after intense sweating. It's pretty good. So buy hats, $20, by the way, $20. That's shipped all the way to your place. Hit me up in the comments here, and then here's where you got to plug. I know that all the live guys do this, the people that do the live stuff. You can find me at Twitter at like that Mark saying Fotaku Lounge, and that's how you spell. Oh, I misspelled it in my notes here, so don't misspell it when you get it. It's FAUXTAKU Lounge, and then you do the same thing for Instagram and Patreon. Please. Yeah, thank you very much, Martin. That's it. By the way, I can't have the air conditioner on because it gets a little hot in here, and I just had to clean myself up. So anyway, yeah. So hit me up. Twitter, Fotaku Lounge. I have 1 follower, I think, at the moment. I'd like to have more than that. Instagram, I got 4 followers, I think. Fotaku Lounge also. Patreon, Fotaku Lounge, same thing. Martin, since you're crazy here, can you just, yeah, I can include an MD, like a recordable MD. If you buy me a hat, I'll send you an MD for sure. Even if I have one, I'll send you an open one. If I don't, then it'll be an open one. Of course, the only problem with that is if you buy a hat now is how do I get to the post office? This is like an insane, boring introduction to a video that I actually have a plot for this time. Currently, if you'll notice behind me, I'm not sure if you can see it actually. I don't know how to do the live thing, where you're doing where screens pop up and all that. It's called like Stream Labs and all that. I'll try to figure it out, or OBS. Don't know how to do that yet. So just gonna have to look through my microphone here. Yeah, anyway, just doubled my followers, man. Thanks. I got 2 followers I assume that's Twitter. Thank you very much, Martin. That is 2 followers at Twitter. Can we make it 3 or 4 tonight? Yeah, it's kind of weird not having feedback. Anyway, got the X-T4 right here on a camera stand. It's a Bossy. It's literally called Bossy. And you know what? It's attached to a Fringer Pro 2 adapter. Awesome adapter. With the X-T4, I would say for certain lenses, it's basically given as good feedback as a native lens. Not quite as good for following, but of course the native lenses don't do a smooth focus and back and forth as the Canon ones do, so it's pretty sweet to put an EFS lens on there. Awesome. We got someone here waiting for the GFX 100 price fall. It has fallen in Japan a little bit, but I think that camera is such a niche camera. The X-T4 just went live today in Japan. Now I know that some people have gotten it down in like I don't know, Austria or something like that. Maybe in China. Maybe someone just like roddled it off the factory, put it under their white skirts and their plastic, shield and all that, and they just kind of rolled it to somebody. Well, anyway, it just went live here in Japan today, so people probably start getting it tomorrow. And currently, let me just go to, I can't share the screen. I wish I could. I'm just going to tab over to the price. I have the price updated here. I'm going to take see if I know. Do I know how to do this? I'm actually, you know what? No, here we go. We're going to go to kakaku.com is what it's called. It's basically like priced on the hot action one here. However, I got 5 more hats. And I think yellow, pink, green, black. I think there's one other color as well. We'll see. Anyway, there's plenty of designs to choose from. I'll show you. Anyway, check it out. Follow the link there, kakaku.com, and I think you're going to see something pretty cool. And that bad boy is the place where you can find the live price of the X-T4. There's a graph there. Should be a graph. Looks like I'm having a little bit of trouble with internet here. There's like a little graph thing. It's under the red price. You'll see like a tiny little icon. It looks like a couple of lines. If you click on that, you can see the live price. Now, obviously, the camera just went live today in Japan, so you're not going to see a lot of down and up in the price at the moment. The upper price is the price sold by brick and mortar shops, and the lower price is the price sold street, not really street, but on by internet shops. And that price is the one that jumps down and up like mad. And the other one stays rather stable, but of course, over a long period of time, that's where you're going to see the really big rises and falls. And that is one of the cool things about kakaku.com. At the moment, you'll notice that the price is 203, like 346, and that translates roughly into in between like $1,900 and $2,000 US. That's a lot of money. That is including tax. So if you guys are coming from the States and you're like, man, that's like insane. Well, it includes 10% VAT or sales tax or whatever you call it. So you can take off basically 200 from that price to find what should be kind of parity with the American price, roughly. Now, I've noticed, and this is weird, Fujifilm, of course, with Canon, with Nikon, with Sony, and all those companies, it's a Japanese company. And for some reason, when a product debuts in Japan, or a product that goes all over the world and is from a Japanese company, especially a camera company, and always with Fujifilm, the prices are always higher in Japan than they are in the States. And you don't get any of the like card, carrying case, none of those deals. It's like $300 worth of stuff. Nope, it's just the camera. And you don't get the sales that go crazy. Now, there seems to be a cashback thing going at the moment for about Ichimayen or something like that, which is like $100. So it's not a lot, but it helps. And currently, the X-T3 in Japan is fetching used prices, body only, of between $800 and $1,000. Brand new, you can buy it still for about $1,400 here. The price really has kind of stabilized. It went down to like 1,200 for just a little while, and now it's kind of back up stable at around $1,400. So, what am I going to do? I bring this up because I am actually doing, like I said, this magazine shoot at the moment behind the diffuser there. A whole bunch of Miniature stuff, so I'm doing that on the side. You'll get some more Miniature stuff in a couple of days. But what I found while shooting this thing, and I had the same problem with the XH1, is that I get no battery life at all from this bloody thing. Let's see here. Are the stores open in Japan? Sorry about that, Mark. I didn't notice you posted that. The stores, I have no idea, to tell you the truth. I go out to go shopping. Costco's open. There's no queues or anything like that. There are grocery stores, no queues at the moment. What else? I'm not really sure, to tell you the truth. I don't go out a lot by myself anyway. Like I said, I'm kind of doing the daddy daycare thing at the moment. So the last time I went to any shop aside from a grocery shop and was months ago anyway. So, I mean, prior to COVID and right now, nothing for me has changed except for the amount of slivers I have in my hand. And it's nice to have, man, I sound kind of like a little cuck here, but it's nice to have my wife at home. It is. She's, usually doing research down at her place, but they shut it last week, so she's at home trying to get what little work she can. And my daughter's like, "Play," and I'm like, uh, "Did you need a coffee?" I was thinking of getting another coffee, and then she's like, "No, no, no, I'm trying to quit coffee." And I'm like, "I'm just gonna get a coffee." And she's like, "Okay, okay." And that was like 5 minutes of her workday just gone. I'm just gonna wipe my forehead a bit. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I know this is not exactly optical or whatever you want to call it. Um, Anyway, yeah. So what I'm excited about for the XT4, well, there's a whole bunch of things actually, to tell you the truth. I'll start with the trivialist ones, or the ones that you guys are going to think are trivial. I don't think they're at all trivial. Uh, First, the battery. Here, you know what? I'm going to take this bad boy off. Hopefully, the microphone's pointed. I hope it's not too. All right. Okay. Didn't break anything. All right. Um, what? Sorry about this. Sorry about this. One thing I really dislike about all of the X cameras until this moment is the fact, as you know, you're like, Nathan, you're not going to bring up the whole battery thing again, where it's like a square and it goes in. Yes, I am. I hate that this battery is a square and it goes in every single way. Oh wow, I actually got it the right way in that time. Uh, it goes every single way, but only locks one. So if you got gloves on, or if you're in the cold or in the dark, you have a hard time getting it in. Whereas like a Leica SLs or even a Canon 5Ds goes in only one proper way. And finally, the X-T4 looks like it's got a couple humps, and I saw that it's got a cut out niche for it. So either it will go in two ways and only lock once, or it's going to go in only one way. And this is just finally, finally, the X Pro 3 came out, what, 2012 or 2013? We've had the same horrible shaped battery until right now. And finally, the X-T4. You know what? And you know what? I'm gonna just kind of like I'm more than just chuffed here. I'm at the point where I have and this is kind of sad, says a lot about me. For about 8 years, complained that this battery is a horrible design. Not only does it get bad battery life. Yes, I know you can take 5 or 15 with you, and you just pop them in. They're so small, it doesn't matter. They're just whatever. Nah, uh, it's a bad battery design. It shouldn't go in every which way and only lock one way. It should go one way in and either do something really awesome, like with the Hasselblad or with the Leica SL, where the battery itself is the closing compartment, or at least have it go in one way and latch really strongly. Unless it's been 8 years of the same horrible battery design, and finally they got a new one. And you know what? I imagine it's gonna be like those Sony guys. They're like, you're just using your camera wrong, man. You're just holding it wrong. I have no problem. My finger, and they're showing it. They're showing like how they hold the grip. They're like, how do you must have such just massive like sausage fingers. You're just so fat. Not everyone's like a big Chad like you. And I'm like, not Chad, but look at that. Anyway, so my problem with Sony cameras, the A7 and the A9, is you put your finger in here and you grab around the grip like you normally do, and what happens? The finger, even my thin, as you know, metrosexual fingers, grind up right against the lens. Now, of course, it's not a Sony, so it's not going to happen like that. I've got a lot of purchase difference here with the X-T3. Of course, the grip is tiny. I have to add one in order to make it comfortable because it's too small. However, with the Sony, these guys are like, they're showing themselves grip the camera, and usually you grip a camera like this, the grip. They're showing it. They're like, see, it's not touching the lens. It's not touching the lens. Like you don't even have your fingers around the grip. They're like, it's a mirrorless camera. You don't need to hold it like that. It's like, that's totally not how it works, man. So they in the Sony, they move the grip a little bit farther from the lens mount, and suddenly they're like, yeah, it's so much better. And I'm like, and that's what all of us people have been talking about. All the people that like the Panasonics and the Canons and the Nikons, that's what we've been saying. And they're like, you guys were wrong then, and it's just they've just made it better, but it was never problematic. Well, Fujifilm guys, I'm guessing you guys can be like, yeah, the new battery's so freaking awesome, and they'll be like, yeah, well, why couldn't we have it earlier? And like, well, we didn't really need it, and I don't know. Enough of the battery. I just got to say, finally, man, I'm so excited about that. The next thing I'm excited about, of course, is the battery life. It's not going to be double. It's going to be an extra third or extra quarter. But at the moment, I'm shooting a magazine shoot, and it takes me 3 batteries, 3 of these tiny little batteries, fully charged, to get through around 100 photographs. And you're like, what? 100 photographs? That's insane. And I'm exaggerating a little bit. I got about 120 the other day with all of that. Yes, yes, 120 photographs through 3 batteries. And you're like, how is that possible, man? I can like put in uh, a battery here and let's see, example here. It's not even full. It's 2/3. You can't see there. 2/3. Let me just set this on CH like that, and I'll just put it on I don't know, the 125. Now let's see how many photographs we can get. Oh wow! How can you only get 100 photographs, man? Look at it. It's just keep going, no problem. What are you talking about? 100 photographs? That's in 3 batteries. That's impossible. You're such an idiot, man. You don't know how to use a camera. I can get 3,000 from a battery, man. If I no, I'm not spraying and praying. I'm putting up on a tripod here. I'm making sure that I have everything adjusted right. I've got the light right. I'm getting the reflectors in the right position. I take a photograph, and then what do? I make sure that there's no problems. So I chimp. Yes, there are people that chimp with a camera. There are actually people that use a camera for other than just or on the street. I'm a street photographer. I hold that at my waist and I look down. I go, boom. Or they're with their X Pro and they're like, look through the viewfinder. They're like, oh, actually, I don't know how to use that. So they change to the EVF. Nah, there's people who use a camera a little bit differently. So anyway, let's see here. Got a question up here. We got a comment. This is from Mark H. I used to always take 4 for a 6-hour event. Yeah, that's about right. I've used it at events before. I've covered some embassy stuff. I've not used it for a wedding, anything like. Wait, have I? No, I've not used it for a wedding. I am sweating. Sorry about that. But yeah, the battery is just horrible. So the new battery is going to supply an extra quarter to third. Now that's not a lot. That's not way better, but gee whiz, it's so much better. So much better than if you're using it hard, let's say, and you're doing a lot of flash photography, and you're a pro, so you want to make sure the photographs are fine. So you take a photograph and then you check. You don't just trust that the camera saying it's in focus and it looks great on the back screen, and then you take it back and you're like, it's blurred by like 4 pixels. But I would never be able to tell that if I didn't check it. Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, you check it every single time. If you're a pro and each one of these photographs matters, you check every photograph. Now, I did make a mistake one time with the Leica M10. Did make a mistake one time, and I don't think I ever. That was like my only mistake. However, you know, that was kind of a mistake. But you don't trust your camera if you're getting paid. You don't. You trust what you can see, right? I mean, it's why people want their dual card slots. You're like, card slots, cards. I've never had an SD card problem in the 8 years or 18 years or like 45 years of shooting digital. People say that. Like, I've never had it. What are you guys talking about? You don't need dual card slots. And then finally, their camera that didn't used to have dual cards now has dual cards. And they're like, oh man, it's so awesome. So awesome. So awesome. Now, anytime something's upgraded or fixed, a bad design error is then no longer an error or it's fixed or something like that. It's such a relief. Now, people who complained about it are like, finally. People who haven't complained about it are like, they're more quiet about it, especially the people that have supported and always been like, "No, you complainers are wrong." It's a little bit different. So anyway, that'll be great to have better battery life because magazine shoot 100 photographs, 120 photographs, 3 batteries. I'd like to get that down to 2. I would I would love to have it 1 battery. The one big thing, of course, DSLRs, the sensor, I guess, is only on when it's exposing. You can compose through the LCD if you want. You can compose through the viewfinder if you want. And both ways, I found that they get better battery life. In fact, the GFX, I do have a comment here from Mark H again. With GFX, I last 3 batteries for 8 hours of shooting. You know what? That's yeah, about same with me. I'm able to get consistently around 400 exposures on a magazine shoot. Okay, I should probably adjust that a little bit. I can get 200 for sure on a single battery on the GFX 50. Um, however, if I am doing something more like stacking, and that sometimes is done on magazines, it's oftentimes done on advertising stuff. If I'm doing stacking or something like that, then that number goes, 400, 500, 600, because it's just every 10 seconds, take a new image and then flash, like that. No problem. There's no chimping involved. You've already tested every frame through that point. From this, from this distance to this distance, all you got to do is take 100 photographs or 200 photographs like that, so no problem. GFX does have better battery life. I would love if they put the GFX battery in there. I guess I don't need as high voltage or whatever for these smaller bodies. I don't know, or however it works. I am really sorry about this. Yeah, anyway, so it's just the battery life is going to be awesome. I'm also looking forward to I use a lot of Canon lenses with this thing, mainly these this Canon lens here is 18 to 35 EFS. I'm going to be doing a whole Viltrox versus Fringer Pro 2. I've had this adapter for half a year. I have not finished a review that I started at that point. The Viltrox, I have it somewhere here. I don't want to. Well, I'll get up for just a second. Guys, don't look down while I stand up. Look up at the ceiling just for a moment. Don't do it. Where is the Viltrox? Viltrox. I'm kind of moving everything around here. The Viltrox. Here it is. I have the Viltrox right here on a. Sorry about this, guys. This is professional. Okay. Got the Viltrox. It's called the Mount Adapter EFX 1. It's not the one with a piece of glass in it. And of course, the one I use from Fringer is the EFX Pro 2. There's no comparison. This is just kind of TLDR for a video you haven't even seen yet. There's no comparison. This one does good, okay, sometimes. And this one often will give me performance that really comes close to the Canon lens on a Canon camera. They're just no comparison. I did a video of me just walking towards the camera, and the Viltrox was like in, out, in, out, in, out, blur. And then I'm like right in front of it, moving slowly, and it's like, gotcha. And then half a step later, it's out of focus again. So I don't recommend it at all versus the FX. I don't know why this is. Viltrox do well for their FX lenses, and we got a whole bunch more coming in, evidently. Looking forward to that 23 for sure. And actually, even the 33. I don't really like the Fujifilm 35, so 1.4. So anyway, that Fringer is freaking phenomenal. Even for action, with that lens, the 18 to 135, good lens. Not as sharp as the 18 to 55. By the way, 18 to 55 is, apart from being slower, it's not 2.8 to f4, it's 3.5 to 5.6. That lens is sharper than the Fujifilm more expensive 18 to 55. It's a little bit bigger. Seems to be, I don't know if it's plastic, but it focuses smoother. It seems to have more or better parfocal, whatever. It's just better. It's better overall. Not, it doesn't work in low light as well, but if you get one of these Fringers and it works well in your camera, and evidently the X-T4 works better with the Fringer, and this is another thing I'm excited about, you can use much less expensive EFS lenses and get such a bang for the buck. That adapter is expensive, $300 or whatever, but it allows you a massive library of less expensive lenses that work generally really, really well. All right, so that's a Fringer. That's the X-T4. That's the whatever else. I talked about my Patreon and all that. If anyone has some questions while I'm thinking about a couple other things, which I do want to mention here, because I want to kind of get off the X-T4 stuff at the moment, although I do have a couple more things to mention. Let's just look at the questions down here. If anyone wants to send a super chat, you can do that as well. Someone sent me one. I have had a super chat already. It was awesome. Helps a daddy dare care man out. Let's see here. Cyprian comes back. I once had an issue with a card and thanks God I was on backup in a GH5. Never without dual slot working with SD cards. Absolutely, I believe that. I agree with that. Now, I have done a whole bunch of events with an M10. M10 has one slot. And before that, I was doing events with the M240. And I have done events, of course, with the D800 with two slots. But usually I only use one. However, SD cards, I have had 5 failures. Never at a critical juncture, but I've had 5 failures. And one of my nice SD cards, which is the Sony Tough, I've had one of these doesn't seem to work so terribly well in my camera. So that's to say that I don't trust single slots. I really would like 2 slots. And I'm looking forward anyway to just a more reliable camera with X-T4. Now, I'm gonna just do a couple more. Look at these chats here, and then I'm just gonna show you how the XT3 went down in price in Japan, and what I expect about the XT4 in price, and where I'm going to go, or how long I'm going to wait till I try to trade in what may not be worth very much more, my XT3, for it. Let's see here. Martin, when I want to take photos of a particular thing like a session, I can completely understand battery life going down. Yes, yes, absolutely. It's bad. But he says, I need just one battery day out. But you are also using Sony, aren't you, Martin? I believe so. Um, so Sony's, now I know their earlier ones didn't have great battery life, but I found that their later ones did well. But I've never seen or used a Sony that does as poorly as an XT or XH, maybe even X Pro. So, I mean, Sony's, yeah, they seem to do pretty damn well. When I'm using Leica, I'll put a battery in, even the M240. Actually, M240 did basically as well as like a Canon 5D Mark IV. Absolutely one battery all day, no problem. The M10, yeah, for an event, I can definitely do a 4-hour event with one battery, but I'll want to take a backup for sure. I'll have two batteries for that camera. If I'm doing a 6-hour event, probably by the end of it, I'll have 10% left, and that's dangerous. So absolutely two batteries for a full day uh, should cover it. But if you're doing a full day, bring three just in case, like that. But anyways, if I was doing full day on an same thing on the XT3, I'll probably have 6 or 7 batteries to go through, maybe more, maybe 8. I don't know. Let's see here. Martin was asking questions way up there, by the way. Martin, where are you asking questions here? Way up there. Nice to see you, Nathan. $20. Yeah, $20. Give me $20. Buy a hat. Buy a hat. Or give me Patreon. Or give me PayPal. By the way, if you become a Patreon, I give you 4K images. If you become a $4 Patreon guy, and I try to do like a review every week or 2 weeks, and I'll give you the best looking image of my review in 4K composite, or 2 images in 4K single exposure. So it won't be bleeding edge sharpness from edge to edge, sort of advertising style. Or there's also a 1080p option, and that's 2 images at 1080p, and that's $2. Become a patron, man. Do it. I got 3. I picked up a new patron last week. It was really awesome. Thank you very much. Don't remember your name. Got 3 patrons. Martin, what's this? We really get to know our spouses. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We do. Spouses, man. Best decision I ever made was getting married. Now I got a daughter. It's like they're tied. It's awesome having a kid. I want more. That's off topic. All right, let's see here. Mark, got 2 batteries on my M10 as well. I use live view at times with it. I don't use live view on my M10 because, well, I have from time to time, not during events. During events, it's just through the viewfinder and like you've seen my video on it. The M10 is an amazing event camera. The only thing I would change, of course, is the fact that I cannot lock the shutter exposure. So if you're using flash, which has a maximum speed sync of 1/180, if you exceed that, you're going to get lines. Now, of course, if you go below that, that's no problem. You can get awesome streaks and do really freaking awesome effects, especially on dance floors and stuff like that. When you have a flash, set it down to like 1/15 for a little bit of blur, or 1/5, and you gotta like stop down your aperture way down there and all that, and set your ISO instead of from 1600 down to like 100 or whatever. Oh man, do you get some really awesome images. And the M10 is perfect. There's no blackout. You don't have to like reconfigure for flash or not flash. It's big, bright viewfinder. It's accurate enough. Love it. However, there's one card and you can't lock the exposure. So if you're using flash, there's always the chance that you will accidentally get a black bar. So I've only ever had it happen once. Once is too many. For that reason, I'm actually thinking of going the route of getting X100V, 2 of them, and then having one for 23 millimeter and one for, yeah, basically using just 23. And then when I want, put on the 50, whatever like that. So thinking of going that route. I know that has only one card. Now forget that. It only has one card because I have to do the X Pro 3 thing. Don't want to get the X Pro 3 thing. X Pro 3, I'm kind of a little bit kind of miffed at it at the moment, not because of the build or anything like that, but here in Japan, it's really interesting. It went in 1 month, it went down $200 in price. It was going from intro price was 210.00, and then it went down. No, it went down 250. Then it went down to 185.00, and then it looked like it was just like that, just hitting the ground, and then suddenly it shot straight back up, completely artificial. There's nothing natural about that. And it shot back up for like 2 months, and it was hovering at like the $2,000 mark line. And it's like, come on, that's so fake, so fake. And it's one of the things I really like about the Japanese market is it's you can find it on a daily. The market's changing generally. Now there's definitely some shifty stuff going on there sometimes, like that X Pro 3 thing. But yeah, it was like, and even the Dura ones were going down. They were below 2000 for just a little while. They're just diving down, and then suddenly, weird thing went they went back up. Now they're flat. So weird. Don't know how that works. Maybe it's a little bit of COVID stuff. Who knows? Um, Whatever it is, something was going on. The X Pro 3 is now down to 185 again. Um, so yeah, now we all know the world at the moment is either this is some like dream that none of us understand, as a quantum of conscience says, we're all looking at a screen and we're trying to figure out the screen. Maybe something like that. Maybe it's some grand conspiracy. Maybe it is just trying to get rid of this disease. And whatever it is, my event photography business has been dramatically impacted this year. Dramatically, I've had cancellations. There's one that I really like that I've done just for 3 years in a row, that still might happen. But anything in the next, basically till June, even July is gone. And I was about ready to open a new section of my business, and that's gone. It's impossible. So yeah, at the moment, like, who knows? Maybe if I get back to event stuff and everything gets back to normal, um, and the customers are willing to have events again, then I will either pray and do the X100 with one card slot, or get a couple of X Pro 3s. That is that interlude. Let's see if there's another thing on the chat before I talk about the XT3 price drop and what I'm expecting with the XT3 or 4. Sorry. Let's see. Still using an M10. Yeah, that was a long way of saying I still am. Martin says, yes, A7 III has a superb battery. Yep, absolutely. However, RX1 battery isn't great, but lasts me a day until I was in Helsinki in -20 centigrade, and it went empty in seconds. Yeah, that happens. That happens absolutely. Mark H says, I got 2 batteries on my M10 as well. I use live view at times. We answered that. That's right. A7 III, same Mark. A7 III batteries in the old Canon, agree with Martin. You can get a super expensive Leica flash with it. Yeah, I was using Leica flashes. What were they? Well, of course, the rebranded Nishins. I was using the I40 or whatever it is. And for a while, I was when I was doing the embassy shoots and stuff like that, I was using, but I don't use. Okay, it could do TTL, it could do HSS. Awesome on paper, right? But in my entire photography event business, I've never done anything but except when I'm outdoors. When I'm outdoors and doing program auto, when I was doing school photography in studio, they're like, my boss is like, just set it to P mode, put the flash on, and let the camera decide everything. And I was like, seriously, you can do this? I had no idea. I had no idea there was even such a mode. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And so we did program auto mode with the flash, HSS, and all that. And you know what? Sounds, and we were using the 28 to 300 for this was Nikon, and it sounds like, oh god, you were using that stuff, man. That's shifty, man. That's low end lens. That's really program amateur stuff, man. It was so easy. You just shoot and go, and the only thing that mattered is as long as you framed it well and followed the action, and because you're not thinking about it too much, and you got hundreds of kids to follow for school stuff, it was perfect. Came out with some truly incredible images, and I'm really glad I worked there because I learned about the P mode. Camera set to 1/180. I've got the ISO to 1600 generally. I've got the flash either pointed behind me or pointed up into a handmade diffuser, or I've got it going into the ceiling, whatever. And TTL doesn't work there, so it's always just okay. If I'm putting up ceiling, I know to adjust down or up, and if I'm putting back up or down. So yeah, I don't need TTL or HSS. So I ended up just using my they're not here. They're somewhere. Just using some Godox stuff. So yeah, I got rid of the expensive Leica ones, and I got some kind of expensive Godox ones, which are damn good. Just a little bit big. Yeah. Mark H. All his events are canceled as well. Yeah, we're all sitting in here. Got a message retracted, by the way. Cyprian, sorry about that, man. I once had an issue with a card. I was back up. Yeah, you said that you got another message. I didn't know you could retract a message. That's some pretty cool stuff. Thank you for showing me that. Yeah, the event world is basically destroyed. I was on a Zoom chat with Jean Ricard is his name. He's from New York. He is an event photographer, also teacher. He was saying the same thing. I don't know if he's published this thing yet. I haven't really been following my YouTube subscription list recently, but we were talking about that, and yeah, they're gone basically at the moment. I would imagine that the only photographers that are getting any money at the moment for events are very private functions. In Canada, they're like, don't have 5 people together, and Japan, we don't have that at the moment. But whatever, everyone's canceled everything anyway. So I got a notice the other day. It's like we're having our annual headphone event, and I was like, whoa, they're going ahead with it. And then they're like online, and usually it's like a huge. It's like 6 stories, six floors, sorry, of headphone events where there's booths. You can test out all this new stuff, all the new DACs, all the new amps, all the new headphones. You go in there. Then I usually shoot an award ceremony at the end, or another ceremony, and so it's kind of a double thing for me. And now it's alive online. My guess is we're gonna have like a Zoom, whole bunch of Zoom people, and it's gonna be like the Onkyo booth, and like, we have a new DAP. It's really cool. Check it out. I'm just gonna plug in the audio here into my microphone or into my audio interface and check it out. And they're all gonna be playing. Invariably, all these audiophiles play Eagles, Hell Freezes Over. Sorry, Hotel California. They're playing. They're like Diana Krall. They're playing their like Vivaldi, just the stuff that everyone knows that sounds good on speakers and headphones. And how are you going to do that how are you going to do a headphone event on like over Zoom? It's supposed to be thousands of people milling around, and you get like tickets. And if you get in Japan, you get stamps if you get to the right booths, and if you get all the stamps, and you get like some sort of, I don't know, some sort of ticket or something, like to get a discount on your favorite headphone. And there's amazing headphone discounts, even if you don't do that, uh, just for that day. And you get to talk with your favorite headphone maker and all that. But no, it's going to be live on Zoom or something. So no, it doesn't work. So yeah, that's another whole bunch of, not whole bunch, but it's another event that I lost out on as well. Anyway, Martin was supposed to be here next week. Martin, by the way, used to live here in Japan. We got together a couple times, 3 times, 2 times. Had some, I don't know, Guinness, not a British beer, it's Irish beer, but we had some beer together. Went little shooting here. Yeah, Martin's down over, and let me guess. Let me get it. You're in Germany or Poland? It's one of those two. I think it's Germany. But yeah, he left me for a while. He left me from one Axis country to another Axis country. Don't ask. Don't ask. I don't know what's going on with that guy. But anyway, he was gonna be here in Japan next week. He can't be, so that's a shame. That's how it is. Anyway, the next thing I want to talk about, to stay on topic here, is let's just look. Of course, you can't look because I don't know how to share my screen. I'll learn how to do this. 40 years old. I'm not born with this stuff. I'm going to go back to kakaku.com, and we're just going to look at how the X-T3 fared over time. I picked up my X-T3 used with the lens, with the small rig cage, with 11 batteries, 5 Fujifilm batteries, and 6 that were not Fujifilm batteries, for like the equivalent of like $1,600. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I now have the battery grip, which I don't use. It's horrible. It's a horrible design, man. It's just crap. Anyway, the X-T3 at the moment, like I said, the price is 140,496. So that's probably like $1,300 in the States. And I'm just going to click on the graph here. Oh, let me click the Oh yeah, got two keyboards going on here. Changed my computer, by the way. No longer have a super powerful iMac Pro. I now only have a MacBook Pro, and I have same size hard disk. I have a slower processor, and I have 4 times less memory, so 16 gigabytes. Used to have 64, and my video memory is 4 instead of 16. It's such a downgrade. Weirdest thing though, Photoshop runs better, not for processing, but like in the playback when you're like zooming in quickly and you're rotating and you're deleting stuff. For some reason, I guess the drivers for the graphics card that's in this thing are just better. So the MacBook Pro is way weaker. It's so much weaker for exporting stuff. It's so slow. But for the main thing that I'm worried about, the when I'm doing touch ups and all that, that thing, it's better. So that's cool. That's that's totally cool. Anyway, let's get back. Oh, did I do it? Yeah. Click the kokoku.com link, and you can see in real time. That's where the XT3 price is. Now, if you go again, there's the red number there, 140461. And to the right of it, there's like a little graph looking thing. You click on that, and then you can look at the price. Now, all the way to the bottom of that, there's a thing on the right. There's a thing that looks like a 2. You click on that, and it shows you over 2 years how the price has totally changed. And you can see in the first, basically, from the far left, it shows the street price or the internet price of 179,330 is where it started in Japan. And that was 2018, September 3. And then 1 month later, it had dropped to 164,636. So basically had dropped 164, $150. And then it went in another couple of months. This is January 14th. It was down to 144, which is essentially the same price it is right now. So it lost in, what's that? Ichigatsu is January from September. So basically all of September, all of October, all of November, all of December. 4 months, it dropped by $350. And so this is my dilemma here. There's a couple things to really think about it. Will the XT4 drop as fast or as similarly as the XT3? And will it drop as an absolute number in the same amount, or will it drop in relation to its top price, which is $2,000? Will COVID affect it? Will COVID affect it because people want to buy it and they can't, and there's not enough supplies? Or will COVID affect it? People can't buy it. They're like me. They no longer have events. People are closing their photography studios. People are getting their Abe bucks or the Trump bucks, and that's their income at the moment. They're like, what do we do? Well, if that's the case, I expect the XT4 is going to go down faster. And for me, even if my photography business is at the moment very obviously struggling because of, or at least the event side is very obviously struggling, I will have to make a decision. Is it worthwhile to get a camera that's going to have better battery life for events that I'm not doing as much, or for magazines which come at the same frequency, but they're not as big, so they're not paying as much? Or will I just use it for family photography? And at the moment, I got to say, the XT3 is just perfect for family photography. I took it skiing back when it was cold, and the battery was toast, but it did amazing in the snow. It was just great. And the XT4 is basically the same thing, just a little bit battery life, maybe a little bit better autofocus, but certainly not worth it to take a bath on selling this thing, getting rid of the kit and all that, and then still having to pay more money to get a camera alone. So the big dilemma there is, how fast is it going to fall? And if my business and events pop back up, and if for instance, if the world even gets back to normal, or normal, whatever, if in that instance, will I then be able to get new and interesting events that are like happening in a different way, which would make it worthwhile to go for it. So everyone's going to have a different take on this. I definitely got to say, I'll, that battery life alone is exciting to think about, but my eyes really thinking about the XH2 if it ever comes out. If it comes out, if I'm still doing photography and all that, and not just become a YouTube commenter on like photography stuff. That's what I'm thinking about. One more thing I just want to share here. This is totally unrelated. So if you guys are like came here for the Fujifilm stuff, I want to close it out. I'm gonna take a sip. Uh, all 5 of you guys that are watching, there was 11 at a moment. 4 of you guys now. All you 4 of you guys that are watching, and you got any more Fujifilm things to bug me about or that are bugging you, and you want to get it off your chest, put it down in the comment section. Also, give me a super chat if you want. You know, and then I'll sip this bad boy, and I'll show you one thing that's really kind of changed at least my magazine business. It's pretty cool. I took a sip. I don't see any more comments coming in. I don't see a super chat. So I'm just going to go grab it. All right. And you guys can pretend like, I don't know, pretend like the chat's like moving so fast and I just can't, I'm too important. I can't really look at don't look down when I stand up. Make sure you're looking up at the ceiling. Okay. So you don't want to have to see this. You don't want to, okay. I'll just try to scoot. All right. Oh yeah. All right. So you can don't look. See this here? You've seen these things before. This is a light wand here. Just put this here. There's one more over here. Don't look. Don't look. Stop it. Okay, I'm just gonna twist this. All right. Don't look. Oh man, you looked. All right. Okay. Got 2 of these here. I'm gonna grab my other light. Okay. So I have always basically, okay, so from 2000 and battery's still good. From 2012, basically. 2012, I did use some like regular, just like clip-on flashes for product photography, and it worked well with the right diffusers. But after that, I got into monolights, and now this is a monolight with a battery pack, I guess, is what you call it. And then this is the Godox 8400. Decent light, a bad light pattern compared to Profoto. I was using Profoto D1s, and before that, Pro 3 heads, and it's good. But if you need to use your lights in a mobile aspect, so you need to move it like in a tiny studio like this from one section to another, put it over a product, then move it here. You could have 5 lights and you could all, sync them all perfectly. But sometimes even then you want to move a little bit. It's a hell of a lot of work. I would say if I want to move one light, I'm basically getting, I'm adding like 20 to 30 minutes onto my workflow, because if I want to move one light, I've got to move all the camera or all the light stands, and they're heavy. And this is rough. So recently, I got a hold of from Amazon. First, I got this newer thing. This is $60. $60. Battery life's horrible. You got to plug it into USB. Otherwise, it's just gonna you're gonna lose it very quickly. Comes with barn doors. It's called the newer CL124. I mean, you won't find a more sonorous naming scheme than that, but I'll just turn it on. You've seen this already anyway. But yeah, so whoa, yeah, barn doors. You can, like that. You can move it. You guys know this. All you guys are like, we've seen this already, but you can move it. In the review that I did recently, that was published at Fuji Rumors. Thank you very much, Patrick, by the way. Of what is it? I always forget the name of this company. TD Artisans, not 7 Artisans, 11 millimeter fisheye. The one in which I was called a hipster. Thank you very much for you awesome commenter there. I only used flash or anything. I used flash once outside with my daughter and my Leica, but then I took an image inside of my car where I use this thing and just shining it like people do, and the image came out really good. Not quite as contrasty or hard hitting lines as you can with a flash that's bare, but I didn't do any diffusion, and images came out soft, and it was really nice. And it's $60, and it doesn't. Sorry about that. It doesn't take as much stuff like support. It doesn't cost as much. If you can just throw this in the car, it comes with a little carrying case. Awesome light, and it does daylight. Although it does down to from 3,300 Kelvin up to 5,300 Kelvin or 5,500. Awesome, completely awesome. This other one that I got here, also it's metal. It's like you guys saw this already, but anyway, yeah, it's pretty solid. It's not. It's got a rivet here or a ring here, and if you wanted to break it in half, you totally could break it in half. But it's generally in good shape. And then by Amazon, I got this other one. It does RGB. I showed you already, and I use this to shoot the FIO BTR 3K that I published this week. You just saw me walking down the street, how far I could get from my house and break the quarantine. Well, I could get 93 meters away. Then later on, when I took the BTR3 into the studio here, set up on here, I just used two of these. One to go red, got a red color here, and the other one just to give it some fill light. And the images came out amazing, amazing. The prices for these $130. This is called the Nice Photo. It's a horrible name. Nice Photo TC288. It's bendy, horrible build quality. The only thing that's metal on it is this little cap here. It's got a couple of cool things, like you can unscrew that and you got like a little mount here, so you can mount it both ways. It does 7 different RGB colors. Cool. But when you turn it on, it gets a whole bunch of bead lights, so you don't get like a nice diffuse strip like you do with the newer. So you got to use a lot of diffusion. I had to put it through 2 diffusion panels here to get good light from it. But I do that anyway with like the Profoto D1. I did the same thing with the Godox, 8400. So I'm always doing that sort of diffusion. This thing, same amount of diffusion, and came away with an image that, apart from being a little bit more yellow and you couldn't directionally control it quite as well, looked really good. In fact, I'm doing my entire magazine shoot now with this or with the newer, and may think about relegating the Godoxes for outdoor shoots again, if outdoor shoots become a thing again. So I gotta say, these LED things, they're pretty impressive. Years ago, a friend of mine, his name's Hook, he did a couple articles over at Omimash. He's like, man, do you ever do continuous lights? And I'm like, why would I do that? And I had before. I'd use some like fluorescence back in the day, and I found there was a whole bunch of problems with them. I didn't know that LEDs had gotten as good. They are. I'm pretty sure that I could generally replace my flashes, my big monolights, with these if I can use them cleverly. Now they can't. You'd have to get a whole bunch of different ones if you want to get like a big round, or you want to get like a square or whatever. But with the right diffusion with this, and then you wrap something around it, you can expand the amount of light that comes from one of these, and it's truly amazing. Gotta say that. We got a new guy came in. It's Haruhisa Fujioka. Haruhisa Fujioka. Welcome. I don't know if you're actually Japanese. If you are, konbanwa, from my heavily accented Japanese. Martin also speaks Japanese. At least he looks like he does. Welcome to have you. I don't have anything more on the schedule here except to say, expect from tomorrow morning, you're going to see some Panasonic MD stuff. I've waited far too long for it. I just wanted to do some Fujifilm X-T4 stuff, talk about the price drop that I expect here in Japan. Again, the market is updating roughly every day. You'll find it shoot up. Like I said, that weird stuff that was happening, that was even before the big old COVID panic, and then shoot back down and all that. So I'm expecting some good stuff to come here. Yep. Oh my gosh. Do you speak Japanese? Yes. 一応日本語喋れます。喋れるけど、アクセントは変やし、文法ももちろん間違ってて、この前、Amazon でレビューしたけど、ダメだった。 Amazon がなんか別の商品を同時に見せながらはダメって言われたから。So anyway, yeah. Yeah, there we are. We're almost closed. Wow, we got this guy is Haruhisa is really talking a lot. Thank you for coming in here. And we got this other guy. He's called Yui. Man, iMac Pro is big. Gotta like come in here. You Yuji Who. Well, why are you guys coming here right at the end? Why are you guys coming at the end? I'm like, I've done my bit about the X-T3, X-T4 batteries. What I expect out of it. You guys coming in and actually chatting. Wow. Hey, it's really. Thank you very much. Oh, we have another Japanese speaker here. That's incredible. Yeah, guys. Well, thank you very much. If you have any questions, what you guys missed, our Japanese customers or people who come in. If you have any customers, if you have any questions, XT4, XT3. I was just talking about the kakaku.com, how there is daily updates on price and what I was expecting how I was expecting XT4 to go down or up, and when I was prepared to buy it if my event business basically comes back from the grave, which this year, it apart from a couple that I've been informed that are going to happen, is gone. So yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. Any questions? If not, it's been a pleasure. I was thinking about trying to do this a little more often. I know 2 weeks ago I tried 3 almost in a row. I still haven't figured out how to share screen and all that, but I would like to, if possible, do kind of like more of a daily sort of thing, just to grab to get a rapport with some of the people that actually watch this channel. Thanks to the Fuji Rumors article, we picked up a couple people coming in. Yeah, I'm Shigzeo. If you see me commenting at Fuji Rumors, and of course I write at my blog om-image.net, and mostly about audio stuff and about camera stuff. I'm gonna be doing some movie stuff, but not from the angle you're probably expecting. But anyway, yeah, in Japan, Fuji starts promotions regarding well, perhaps I should ask you a question, Mr. Haruhisa. What are these promotions? I saw on the Kakoku.com forum that there were people talking about some sort of cashback, instant cashback. So what's that about? If you have any sort of feedback regarding that, please mention it, because if anyone's here in Japan who's got the dosh ready and they want to shred the dosh at the moment, then of course I can link that to that, or you can link that to them anyway. I have to leave, but I love your personality. David Hodgen. I thank you very much. I have been told that I'm quite different when I'm in front of people I really know and people I don't know what that means, good or bad. And I will wait just a couple of minutes, not too many, too long. Oh, bye, David. It's a pleasure to have you. Too bad you didn't speak up earlier. Speak up earlier. If you guys come in, speak early as early as possible, and send super chats. This is from an event photographer who wants some money. That's not why I'm doing this. It is why I'm doing it. No, I want rapport. I want to get some rapport here. Anyway, Haruhisa Mr. Yuji who I can't say it, hasn't updated about the sort of promotions. Sorry, Haruhisa. But there are some sort of promotions, evidently. I've heard instant cashback for the X-T4. Sounds pretty cool. And Abe's given $1,000 to people. So Abe's our prime minister. Their prime minister. I'm not Japanese. Yeah, cashback is to send you really bought T4, and then Fuji will pay some around a few bucks by mail. By mail. Interesting. Thank you very much for that. I suppose it's just sort of some sort of automatic thing. So I don't know how that goes. It's good to hear. Anyway, guys, if you got any more questions, sending documents to Fuji. You got to send documents to Fuji. That makes more sense. I was going to say that's we got Abe bucks, and now we got Fuji bucks, or I guess it wouldn't be bucks. It's like penny for your thoughts. Well, in Japan, it's a yeni for your thoughts. So Abe yeni, Abe yeni, and Fuji yeni, something like that. How's the T4 as a video workout? Well, Alex, welcome, by the way. I don't think anyone in this tiny forum or chat here owns the T4. If they did, I'm sure they would chime in, but I imagine the X-T3 is incredible. Apart from horrible battery life, I get 30 to 40 minutes if I'm doing 4K. Now, of course, there's no point for me to do 4K really. 1080p, I don't get much longer than that, maybe about an hour. A Canon, but when I borrowed the 5D Mark IV, I got a couple hours. When I borrowed the ESR, a couple hours. When I had the ATD, a couple hours, maybe two and a half. So I hope that the X-T4 expands the battery. It would be nice to get an hour, like an actual hour, not advertised hour from 4K. But I mean, battery life has just been dire for Fujifilm cameras recently. So, but I assume that the output is still, and this is my honest thought, is that the X-T3 currently has the best output I've seen. It doesn't have RAW or anything like that for like an amateur like myself. For 4K and 1080p, it's just incredible output. The SL was about as good for 1080p, but of course had a big crop and 4K. Um, but the X-T3 is just incredible. So I assume the X-T4 is just the same thing but better battery life. Also, by the way, if you can hold a fork, you can go to. I held a fork for 7 years or 6 years at York University. All right. Well, I think that's it for me. If another question rolls in, I will answer it. Oh man, what's this? Hyped. Alex is hyped about the X-T4. Why didn't you come in earlier, man? You're like, you and Haruhisa are like chatting. You guys could like push this thing for. Oh, another message from Haruhisa. Okay. I would like to correct my statement that you have to buy another lens, pricey prime lens. Okay, so it appears that if you buy the X-T4 with a pricey prime lens, perhaps at the same time, or maybe you buy one and you stack it on there. And I assume this is also from Fujifilm themselves, or does this count also for third-party retailers? I don't know. But it appears if you buy this and this together, then you get some sort of discount, maybe $100 or something like that. It's like, it's give and take. And of course, the Japanese intro price, for some reason in Japan, more expensive than some other places. And Japan isn't just from today going to market from brick and mortar, as well as from brick and mortar, not brick and mortar, brick and mortar shops, as well as from online shops. And it's been available up to a week from some places. And I don't know what that is, but yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for the update there, Mr. I assume Haruhisa. I really don't know names so well. Anyway, that's it. Guys, thank you very much. I've said thank you very much, and that's it like 4 times. So we'll just kind of call it there. I don't know if you want to do an after party. Like, there's actually something in here, by the way. I shaved my beard because I didn't want to get that something on the beard. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Oh, like the 16 to 55 or 50 to 140. Okay, so not just a prime, but you gotta. Oh, I said we're done. It's totally not done. All right, yeah. If you get the 50 to 140, you get $280 off. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, thank you very much for everyone that came in late. It's a pleasure to have you. I may try to come back in the evenings a little more often, possibly tomorrow. But if on tomorrow, if we come, it'll be a mini disc sort of thing. I probably won't do Fujifilm for another couple of days. And yeah, in the next couple of months, I will be also talking about movies, but not from a review perspective. No, no. But we'll see that a little bit later. So, guys, thank you very much. Hope to see you next time. Again, might be tomorrow. And I'll try to do the share screen, stuff like that. I'll learn OBS. It'll be a teething process when we do OBS. Anyway, thank you very much. Oh, yeah. Final plug. Okay. Just look at this generational like upgrade. First generation Fotaku Lounge hat. Tattoo marks from sweating outside working on a garden box, COVID garden box. That's generation 1. Generation 2. Look at that. Look at that. Now this is all hand drawn by me, man. It's not like ordering from like Teespring Life and all that. This is me, man, with a felt and like actually designing stuff. And I do like an actual we call it serial number and all that. I buy it locally. I go out to get it, and then you get a serial number. I do it myself. I send it off for $20. It's actually probably I'm probably losing out, man. It takes 15 minutes to get to the place, 15 minutes to get back and buy it. Then I got to get to the post office. Probably losing some money on this. But if you want to buy one, I'll lose some money for you. 20 bucks. It's US, not Hong Kong, not Canadian. Hit me up at Twitter, uh, Patreon. Patreon, do become Patreon. You get some high-end 4K or 1080p advertising style images. In fact, some of them are actually higher quality than some of the advertising that was purchased by some companies. Of course, it's not advertising anything. It's just for my channel, so it's different. If any of you guys, if any of you companies are out watching there, you're like, we can get our thing advertised for $4. No, 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 no. If you got something to sell and you want someone to take a really good image of it, you give it to them and they'll take a really good image of it, and then you can use it to advertise your project and make money from it. It's different than when you're doing like a 4K thing or a Patreon thing. So anyway, Patreon, just at here. I'll type it in here one more time before I go. At and then Fotaku Lounge, right? Just like that. For Patreon, Twitter, two followers or 3 followers now. By the way, waiting to see you. And what's the other one? Twitter, Fotaku Lounge. Twitter. I'm organized. I love being organized. Instagram. I do Instagram as well. Kind of. I don't really don't put a lot of stuff in there. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys. 20 bucks, $4 Patreon or $2. I look forward to seeing you again. See you later. I'll see you in the next one. Yeah, there we are. Bye guys. Thank you. Finally. Proper. See you, Alex. Love you, Alex. See you there. End.